What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the podcast, we have an amazing guest. I believe she's the first guest on our show that has been on the Shark Tank. She used to be a fashion designer, and in 5 years, she's gone from 0 deals, just starting out, to nearly 200 million in sales volume. Welcome to the show, Shelton Wilder. Welcome to the show today, Shelton. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. I know you've had a rapid increase in your business over the last few years, and excited for you to share that story, that journey with our listeners today. So why don't you just start off and tell people a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate and really how you've grown so quickly to a team that's doing over 100 deals a year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. So basically I live in LA and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I moved here over 15 years ago and I started a luxury lifestyle management company, and then I started a clothing line. Then later I was on Shark Tank and had with my clothing line, did a lot of different things, but a lot of different businesses. And finally, after my first son, I decided, okay, I'm not going to sell slips anymore and be a stylist. So I call it the click, where I said, okay, what am I best at? What do I love? And I used to be a stylist and love doing that. And I was really intimate with people. I would be in their homes, see them naked. And I was like, what's so similar? And it was real estate came to mind, selling big things, helping people. And it's also, very intimate, seeing their money, seeing their home. So I had the click to do that. And I got my license in my second trimester when I was pregnant with my son, and then closed my first deal when I was in the hospital having my second son. And then, we did the walkthrough with my 8-day-old baby and my 2-year-old and my nanny and my husband. It was a family affair. It was very committed, wanted to make sure we did it. It's such a big deal, and I feel like it's a privilege and honor to work with anybody because there's so many agents. There are a lot of people to choose from, so I wanted to make sure I showed up and did the best job ever. And anyway, so I think the difference and the way I have been able to grow at such a rapid pace is because I treated it like a business. I was like, okay, I'm not just an agent. I'm the CEO of my business, and I had other businesses before, so it was helpful to go, oh, okay, well, you have to do these things. You have to do photo shoots. You have to have an Instagram page. You have to do videos. You have to, invest back in your business. Like a lot of times I see agents, they close a deal and then they're like this. They're like, okay, where are we going on vacation? I'm like the total opposite. I take the money, put it back in. I'm like, how many more assistants can I help hire? How can I grow a team? How can I do more photo shoots? How can I work on branding? So I think that was kind of, the difference. And so I'll just give you kind of the rundown. Last year was my 5th full year in real estate, and we closed, we did over 100 million in sales, and
Wow.
So 100 million this year. We're on track for 200 million. That's our goal, to keep doubling. And then 2019.
And you're not a huge team, right? It's not like you've got like 100 people.
No. It's basically myself and 5 other people on the team. And then I also have about 7 people that work for me as well. So I have a COO. And so I was like, okay, we're going to make, I have a C-suite part of my business now. I'm like, okay, I'm an agent, also the CEO, which is, because it's a business. We're running a multi-million-dollar business. If you treat it that way, then you have to see it as and then you'll keep growing in that way. And so then I brought on Forrest, which has been incredible. And he's been here only like a month, but we feel like we've been together like 10 years. It's such a good fit. And Chrissy, my assistant, and I actually have an assistant, Katie, who is, her main job is gifting a gift assistant because that's a huge part of my business with closing gifts, with home anniversary gifts, with holiday gifts, just that kind of extra special touch and staying in touch with my clients. So even clients from 5 years ago, they'll still get a present every year, the day that they bought their home every year. So it's like, oh my gosh, here she is again. Because I think I need to look up the stat, but there's some, you might know the statistic. It's something like only 30% of agents are working with the same client from before. And I saw that stat and I thought, that is ridiculous. I've already created a relationship. I love these people. They're like part of my family, I feel like. Why would I not want to stay in touch and, still be in their lives? And so I think it's important to always take phone calls, give referrals for contractors or gardener, anything that they need for their home over the years, and like be a resource for them, be a big resource. That's super important. And just kind of, staying in touch and not forgetting about them, because it's not like a one and done. I mean, I love my clients and want to hear how it's going with their home. So yeah, that's kind of been.
You're definitely right on that stat. I think it's like a third or less that in surveys that say they would use the same agent again, and then it's probably even lower because a lot of people that do create a good experience for the client maybe don't do as good a job keeping in touch too. So I bet it dwindles down to even less. Your background is very unique. I mean, first of all, you had a business background coming into real estate, which I think helps. Most agents don't seem to have that. They come from a wide variety of fields, but most of them haven't run a business before. So I think that makes you unique. And then the other thing too is I think you're the first person we've ever interviewed that's been on the Shark Tank. So.
Yep, I did.
What was that like?
It was quite the experience. It was, I feel grateful that I was even picked to be on it. It was very fast. They got my interview tape and then I was cast on it within 3 weeks. It was very fast. And I probably should have been on it the next year because I didn't even have any sales yet. They were like, oh, you sound great. Let's get you on here. And I'm like, okay. I got my samples the day before I pitched to the Sharks. But anyway, it ended up turning into kind of more like about my personal experience, that I was sober and I had gone bankrupt and all these different things from like 2009. And it was a dramatic episode. I like cried, but it was very good TV. They air it all the time. They love it. But it's, for me, even having that experience, I always say that, going into a listing appointment, I'm not going to be that worried. I've been on national television in front of 5 sharks, I think. I'm not as scared to do anything. Like, I had done some stand-up comedy before and some improv just to kind of, get that fear out. And so I think it's helped me so much with my public speaking, being on podcasts, doing my videos that I do. I've been doing these Wilder Wednesday videos this is the 6th year, and every Wednesday we come out with another video. And sometimes lately we've been doing reels because that's kind of working better on Instagram and adding them to TikTok. So I have to pivot to what is trending with the social media outlets. And so but anyway, yeah, I'm very comfortable on the camera. I'm like, well, I already did that, so I'm not worried anymore. I've kind of conquered that fear. And so but it was incredible exposure. I ended up raising $35,000. I'd asked for I think 40, and then I was going to give a percentage of my business away. Ended up raising $35,000 on Kickstarter on my own. Got to keep 100% of my business. So it was a great platform even for marketing.
And
of course. No,
the exposure from just being on the episode and not getting a bid from them, did that helped you with Kickstarter? Or?
Oh. Yeah, totally. With Kickstarter, that's how everybody kind of went, and then they pre-ordered, and then we made the slips because I didn't have them just sitting in a warehouse. Because that's the big thing with having a business that has inventory and manufacturing. I mean, you you have the inventory and you're, so if I had them made and then ready to ship, I'm sure I would have sold more. But then, I had kind of done that before, and it was kind of it. Anyway, so that's why when it was real estate and all I have to do is help sell myself and brand myself, I was like, oh, I can do this because I'm not making products. I mean, I'm just, the homes are already made, or I'm just trying to source them or finding them. I mean, I have been doing a ton of off-market sales. Like I think about 40% of my sales this year have been off-market because I'm just scouring, hunting. That's why I always do that like emoji with the little spyglass. Like I'm always looking for everything and trying to do my best for my clients. And the other thing that's been so important, I feel like, in this industry, I'm from the South and I live in California, and so I always joke and call it Southern California charm, but I really believe in having great relationships with the agents. That's so important to me because I feel like those are clients as well, because you want them to pick your offer, or you want them to work with you. And so I kind of hashtag like love fest, because most of my transactions end up being like a love fest, because there's no need to, what you see on reality TV and things where there's a lot of fighting. And I know it's great for TV, and just like how my Shark Tank, when I was crying, it was great for TV, but it's more of, I really like a drama-free and positive experience.
Hey, hold that thought for a minute. Do you want to take your real estate business to the next level? If you do, there's no reason to go it alone. Learn from people who've been where you want to go. Carrie and I have sold billions of dollars in real estate. We've netted over 7 figures for 7 years in a row now, and we want to see if you would be a good fit to work for us. We don't work with a lot of people, but we want to give you a chance to get on a free strategy call to see if we can help you get your business to the next level. Go to hyperfastcoach.com and apply for your discovery session today. Again, that's hyperfastcoach.com.
And I always send closing gifts to the other agents when we close. And, when we open escrow, I send like a Starbucks card. It's like coffees for closers, just trying to keep everybody uplifted and in a good mood. And because it doesn't have to be, we don't have to be in a bad mood. We don't have to be against each other. Everybody's trying to work for the same, the same conclusion there. And it's to get the house sold and then the buyer in the house. So yeah, it can be done with a lot of love. So that's my thoughts about it.
No, I think it's important to not, have to be so adversarial, to like you said, to actually realize that other agent is a partner in getting the deal to the finish line for you and the buyer, the seller, everyone involved. So it's it takes everyone, and
totally
that's a great attitude to have. What's on the Wilder Wednesday videos? What kind of content are you putting out on those Wednesday videos?
On the Wilder Wednesdays? Okay, well, it's had a lot of changes over the years. So it started out with kind of the tips and tricks, and I would just say, what is escrow? What is an EMD? What is title insurance? All of those different things. It's kind of like a beginner's guide. And then it's kind of now moved into more of like fun TikToks, but still kind of talking about funny things. Like maybe I'll talk about, I like to promote businesses on there, and I'll talk about other people's business and different vendors that I really like. I will talk about the market. I will talk, all kind of all different things. And it's just had so many changes over the years. Now we're doing some kind of like fun TikToks. Recently I was talking about like the one that closed, the big home that sold for 141 million, and
oh, wow.
Talking
that was,
about that.
that was
And
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was in Bel Air. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm in Brentwood, which is right next to it. So it's probably 15 minutes from where I am right now. So yeah, just kind of sharing what's going on in the market. Also kind of trying to give people new information. We talk about the different neighborhoods sometimes. It's all kind of changing all the time. Oh, like maybe, spring cleaning tips, just different things.
What have been the keys for you, just in the span of 5 years with COVID being 2 years of that, going from starting out, first transactions when you're about to give birth, going from that to 200 million in less than 5 years. Like what were the keys, in terms of marketing, and were you focused on a specific area? How did you grow volume so fast?
Okay, so I would say that consistency is key. That's really been my trick to success. And a lot of it has been through Instagram. I have a great website, but I feel like people really go to your Instagram, and that's how I gain a lot of referrals. And even when I was just like laying, had my baby, I was just still posting on Instagram and talking about real estate, what homes are active, what design features that I love, just kind of being out there. And it was really important for me too to kind of pivot from being a stylist and having a clothing, brand, to just people knowing that I'm in real estate and posting every day, so they don't go, oh, well, she's a mom, she's busy, she has young babies. I'm like, no, like, I'm working, I'm 24/7, I am here for you. And so I would say it's like 95% of my business is referrals. And then but I feel like a lot of it comes from people will refer me and say, oh, look at her Instagram. And I'm very much out there. So there's videos of me, there's photos of me, and I try to have photos that look just like me. Not from like 20 years ago. It's like, oh, that's exactly what she looks like. And videos, so you hear my voice, you feel more comfortable, and you would want to come to me. And even everybody from my team, they've come to me. I haven't recruited or anything like that. I mean, this next step and what we're about to go to, we are going to start recruiting other agents, and that's kind of Forrest, my COO. That's his strong suit, and that's what we're working towards, having more agents that are seasoned and been in it longer, doing a higher volume. All the agents that we have now have all been new agents, and I've loved that because I love giving them the tools and having them grow. It's so exciting for me. It feels so good. And so, yeah, but we're just kind of mixing things up, and we're probably going to grow to about, 8 to 10 team members by the end of the year, we're hoping. And then we really want to grow and expand into other markets in California, and then eventually across the country and around the world. So that's really my goal. I am very motivated, and I don't want to stop. But just here, I see the growth that we can have, and the way that we are conducting business, kind of changing the way real estate's done, I would say, with kind of that more collaborative.
It's interesting
mindset.
That you did this starting out with focused on either intentionally or unintentionally on new agents, right? Because a lot of people might think, wow, if you want to grow, you need to go get experienced people, but you clearly were successful, on your own, and had a methodology that you could teach. And I almost think it's easier to teach new people, what to do than, go out and teach like someone who's been doing it for 10, 20 years, like your method of doing it, because there might be resistance there.
Yes, there could definitely be resistance there. And, during the pandemic, I had a course, and I had 45 people in the course, and it was kind of about how you brand and how you market, and, about the consistency. And so that was been really great. And then we actually turned that course into kind of the agent course. So everybody that joins a team will kind of take this course. It's not even long, but it's just kind of like the Wilder way we do real estate. And so that's been super effective, and that we always put our clients first. That's my most important thing, that their well-being way before mine. That is just hands down the most important thing, and being in integrity and with ethics, and that's the way that I have to run things. And there's been a lot of changes throughout the years too, and it's funny to say, but I have been at 6 different brokerages in the 6 years.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of a lot of change.
That's a lot for sure.
Yeah. it was a lot of change, but it was always with, it was always kind of, I planned it out. I didn't know I was planning it out so much, but it's always been a better fit for myself and the team. And I'm kind of like the mama bear with having people on my team. I want to make sure they're always taken care of, and that we have the best splits that we can have for the team, and always giving that back to the team. And other things like when they get referrals, they get to keep 100% of their referrals that they get, and nothing comes through me. I mean, I really try to take care of my agents because I think it's so important. And so every step of the way, it's been what's going to be best for the team and what's going to be best for the people on the team. And so I went from this small one in Malibu to, it was called Monarch, and it was amazing, and it was very hands-on, but that was too far away. So I went to Berkshire Hathaway and Brentwood. I've been at 4 brokerages along San Vicente and Brentwood. And then I moved to Telus, which was kind of a local one that was bought by Douglas Elliman. So that one was not my fault. I didn't change that time. And then I was recruited by Compass, and then most recently now I'm at Sotheby's. And so it's always been because it's a better fit. But never saying anything negative about any place I've been, because it's all been great learning experiences. I've met so many amazing people and agents and managers, and I feel that it's best to remain on great terms with everybody always. Just take the high road, and yeah, it's been great.
Do you think you'll be at Sotheby's for a while, or
Yes, I really love it. Yeah, I love it. I think it's an amazing brand, and it's that high-end luxury, and it's worldwide. So I love that about it, and it's very recognizable, and I feel that it aligns with my brand, which is I like for it to be classic, sophisticated, and gonna stand the test of time, because my favorite people are, Betty White, who just passed and almost made it to 100, and I plan to be doing this till I'm 100. I have no plans to stop. I am a workaholic, Capricorn, just like her. And then I like to say that I'm like the Dolly Parton of real estate. Very miss congeniality, just very getting along with everyone and not causing lots of controversy. And, that's kind of my thing. It's just, I just think that it's a business where you can get along with people, and so that's how I want to be, and making it fun. I think having fun is super important. I mean, why be here if you don't want to have fun, and then make the experience enjoyable as it can be for your clients. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but I think the broke agent, I was on their podcast last week, but the broke agent came out, or it was Overheard LA, and it said there should be a special therapist for home buyers in the 2022 market. And I was like, oh my gosh, because it has been challenging, but trying to keep it light and trying to find the right things for my clients, because I really feel like I'm kind of that like real estate therapist as well, between the husband and wife, or husband and husband, or wife and wife, and or boyfriend girlfriend, or whomever's my client, or just a single person. And it's just kind of talking it through, and that's why I like to kind of really be there.
Hey, hold that thought. Do you want to get 100 tips for free from my best-selling real estate book, The Hyperlocal, HyperFast Real Estate Agent? If you do, go to HyperFastTips.com, and you can download 100 of my best tips today. Again, that's HyperFastTips.com. You can download 100 tips on how to grow your business, get more clients, deliver more value to more people. Go to HyperFastTips.com.
Be there for my
clients. You have to be now.
This
is a very challenging time. I mean, interest rates have started to creep up. I mean, let's face it, they're still super, super low. They're just not as low as they used to be, but the inventory has gone even lower, and we've got all these supply chain issues. Builders can't build, even if they have the buyers and the land, and you just can't build quick enough right now. So I think it's a super challenging time for a lot of agents. Just getting the inventory, getting listings, finding something for their buyer. How are you guys navigating through all of that?
Well, I feel that what we're doing with that, I think a lot of what's happening right now, I call it the chicken and the egg, like which comes first, because we even have a lot of, we have my list of all my my listings there, and a lot of them are on hold right now because they're like, well, I don't want to sell till I find something, but then they're like, well,
Right.
I can't find something until I sell, and so we're trying to play that, oh, well, which comes first, and so it can be very scary for people to say, oh my gosh, I'm just going to sell my home. Where am I going to go? So we're trying to, find the off markets, trying to, being able to put their homes up for sale because they're going to get such a great price, but then doing a long lease back so then they can find something else. So, and then I'm just actually, going back to a lot of the clients that I've had over the years and saying, okay, I can get you, I think, $1 million more than what you bought your house for 4 years ago.
A year ago or
What
2 years
what
ago.
do you,
Yeah.
what do you
Crazy.
think? Yeah, what do you think? I mean, do you think we should just try it here? And they're like, okay, I trust you. And then maybe they're like, well, we might have to Airbnb for a little while, or we might have to, it's a little bit of a compromise for some people, but
it's not just the housing industry. It's like that. It's almost like everything, right? Like there's I know watch dealers that sell like certain Rolex or Patek Philippe watches that are in high demand, and they're calling clients back who bought them 6 months ago and telling them you can get $10,000, $20,000 more for this watch that you just
like,
bought
let
a
me
few
have
months
it.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, same with cars, and so we give like for a lot of our clients, we give Hermes blankets for like a closing gift. They've all been delayed. I have some that are like 6 months later. I like text my girl there and I'm like, hey, any blankets? They're like, no. So yes, in all ways, which is so wild about this luxury industry that's kind of exploded during. Who knew in a pandemic that we'd have the biggest rise in home prices after, right after a pandemic? Or I guess we're still in it technically, but yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah, I've thought one solution that I'd be interested to know if people have tested would be to actually come up with a program where you get bridge loan or some other type of financing, and that way you can go to people that want to move and tell them, like, I've got this program, you can, maybe it costs you 1% or 2% on to have the money available, but you can find the home first, use this money to buy it, and then sell your home
And then
roll it
sell your
into
home.
a
Yeah.
fixed mortgage. But
So it doesn't
um,
have to be a contingent offer. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
it seems like a lot of people are in that dilemma that you described, and that maybe
Yeah.
there's opportunity if someone can come up with a creative way to fix that.
For with the bridge loan, for sure. I think some people are a little scared of the bridge loans because of the high interest that
Right.
that you do have to pay, and the extra points. But yeah, I mean, we've been able to creatively get around it with sometimes listing it off market. I've been listing houses off market, and if we get their price, then we'll get it and move forward. And then if we don't, then they'll move on. Rather than sometimes too, people have young children, they don't want to list it, they don't want people in their home, or they're very private, they don't want people. So, but we're just trying to find solutions. We're the solution source here, the Shelton Wilder Group.
Well, it's amazing to hear your story, and I hope that everyone listening gets inspired with it, shares it with other people, because it's pretty cool to see what you've done in really 5 years in the midst of a lot of stuff going on, the pandemic, housing shortage. So
Yeah.
it's been amazing to sit down and chat with you about it. Before we wrap up, I always like to do a HyperFast round if you're ready for some rapid fire questions and answers.
Okay, I'll be ready. I'm ready.
All right. What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent?
Oh, biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent. I would say consistency is key, and just put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Don't be an undercover agent.
What's one thing you see experienced agents do that they shouldn't? Or vice versa, one thing you see experienced agents don't do that they should do?
I sometimes see experienced agents kind of having their way or the highway, kind of their own mindset, doing this a long time. Things are changing every day. And so it's like being on social media, it's very important now. And putting yourself out there is very important. So I think that's kind of a shift. And there's like these young agents that are doing TikToks or doing, Instagram and getting clients. So sometimes you have to just follow the trends.
What's one thing you're doing right now in your business that wasn't on your radar a year ago?
Oh, okay. So within the past, I think 6 months, I decided to do a agent networking group. And I've invited agents that are all selling, I don't know, between like 40 and 300 million, that kind of range. And it's been really effective and wonderful, and we get together once a month and I have a whole spread of food. I'm like such a hostess. I love that whole spread and coffees, and everyone comes together and shares pockets and information and kind of the struggles of what do we call it, pits and what do we call it for it, pits and peaks. Yeah, pits and peaks of what's going on with their business. And I think that's been great for collaborating with agents coming together and then being able to share information. So that's been incredible. I love that.
All right, what's one thing you might be doing when you're not working on real estate or your team or business?
Oh my gosh, that would be hanging out with my boys. So I have a 6-year-old Lane and an 8-year-old Bo, and then my amazing husband Clark, and we love to take little trips and everywhere in California. I am obsessed with California. I've been here over 15 years. I'm not leaving. We love staycations anywhere around LA. We go to the best hotels, or we just went to the Indian Wells tennis tournament and down, in Palm Springs. So
that was in Palm Springs, right?
Doing yeah, it was amazing. We saw Nadal. We had like the incredible seats. My husband's a tennis fanatic. So that's our thing. Just getting to spend time with the boys, and they love going to fancy hotels. That's their thing. They know that they get all of mommy when we're there, because I do work 70 or so hours a week, and I love it. So I'm a workaholic, but I love being with my babies too.
All right, last one. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Oh, 10 years from now. Well, I have a huge goal of being the #1 agent in LA and known around the world. And so I think I'm going to be working up to that and being a $1 billion a year agent. And that's the goal. And also we're working on a show, and I have hired PR and producer. So have a show for our team. So I think all those things are coming true. Manifest it.
Amazing. Well, that'll be fun to watch. We'll definitely have to have you back on as that journey continues. So thank you for being on today, Shelton. If people want to connect with you, learn more about you, I know you mentioned Instagram, but are there any other ways, or how should they contact or connect with you?
Reach out. Okay, so my Instagram is Shelton Wilder Estates. So there's that. And then my website is sheltonwilder.com. So you can reach out there. But yeah, I check DMs, and I love to connect, and I love to be of service to other agents and people, are, obviously any referrals, but yeah, I love to give back, and that's so important to me with all the charities we do, and also with other agents. That's why I have mostly all new agents. It's fun to give back and to see people thrive and grow.
Amazing. Well, thank you for being on the show today, Shelton. And to all of our listeners and viewers out there, thank you for tuning in. Please leave us some comments and feedback, and share this episode with people that you think could learn from hearing this amazing story. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure and go to hyperfastagent.com to learn about upcoming in-person and online events. And don't forget to share this show with someone that you think could benefit from hearing it, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube or anywhere that you can find podcasts.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave some comments about what you think on the videos.